We're back with Monday Moments, and this time on my Monday Moments is my co-director and partner and wife, Wendy, which is a bit scary actually. I'm not quite sure what she's going to say, but since Wendy is a major shareholder in the business, I guess I have to invite her in sometime, don't I? So welcome, my Wendy, to Monday
Thank you very
Moments.
much. Thank you. Might be the one and only time you allow me to speak. You never know.
Yes. So here I am sitting with trepidation and shaking knees thinking, I wonder where this is going today. So where did you want to start? Perhaps you better introduce yourself and just let the team know what your role is in life generally.
Okay. Hello, it's Wendy. Wendy Scarlett, David's better half, should I say? And just to say a little bit about myself. I am co-director and company secretary of the Soul Millionaire, but I also work outside the home, and I'm an office clerical leader. So I'm quite used to being the boss at work, in organising the office, and Dave will probably tell you that I quite like being the boss at home as well. So I'm a working mum. My children are grown up, so I'm a working grandmother, should I say. Love my children, love my grandchildren, even more than I thought that I ever would. And I'm delighted to be here today to chat with you.
So we were talking about coaching, and you were mentioning the fact that I've had a number of coaches throughout the years. But then you had a bit of a concern. So do you want to just express that concern?
Okay, and I'm trying to think how you can relate this to whoever might be listening to the podcast. And this is my experience, and I'm sure that there are many people who are not alone in this, in that through the years that Dave has had his business, um, I used to work in the office with him, and then I didn't anymore for a while. And but I used to find that David started his business because he wanted to be in control. And I'm sure that's a familiar theme for many people, that they want to guide their own destiny and everything else. And so he wanted that sense of being in control and not being answerable to everybody else. The downside of that is that sometimes, as bright and clever and inventive and talented as he is, um, he doesn't always like to be told an idea you might have that will make something better, or that he could do something a better way. So it's been my experience, to my frustration, that so oftentimes I will come up with a business solution, only to sort of be metaphorically patted on the head and sent on my way, only to find that, months later, somebody else outside of our business or outside of our family unit or whatever else will say the same thing. And suddenly, it's an amazing idea. It's absolutely brilliant. And I want to run into a wall, because I've already had this discussion with him months and sometimes years before. But it takes hearing it from somebody else other than me. So that's been a bit of a frustration. And I wondered if that sometimes happens in the workplace, in that employees in your office, they come up with a brilliant idea, but it wasn't your idea, and this is your business. And whether you're allowing them to have that input into what will improve something that you already think is brilliant, and how it could be improved, and to maybe suggest that we do need to take the time to listen, because sometimes we're a bit blinkered in our own vision, if you like, because it's our vision and it's our creation and it's our business and it's everything else. But sometimes somebody who works close alongside you may see things slightly differently, and may feel that there is a better way. And sometimes it takes a little bit of humility. Shall I say humility? Is that okay to say that word? Humility in listening to somebody else. and particularly if it's somebody that you work closely with, or if you share your business with, you know, a spouse or a partner, that you be prepared to listen. And so that's something that we laugh about now, but there are occasions, and I'm sure there'll still be occasions in the future, where I suggest something as a way of doing something, and Dave's a bit no. Am I being fair there, Dave, or am I?
So let's give them some examples.
The
Let's give them some examples. We have time. We have 5 minutes. So I'll think of an example, then you think of an example. So my first example was, I won't even mention the VAT. How I used to, how I used to be absolutely adamant that you can't charge. This is 16 years ago. You can't charge VAT to financial advisors because they're not allowed to charge VAT on their commission. So that was 16 years ago. And of course, you never stopped talking about that's 20% of our income just gone down the drain. And of course, eventually my mentor, Andrew Walsh, who was a financial director, pointed out to me that I may be quite clever, but I'm acting pretty stupid and just throwing my business away. So that took a while to get through. The second one was, of course, the Soul Millionaire. That was actually your idea to use as my brand name. And I thought that was absolutely bonkers. That was a ridiculous name. So I really don't like you for that. And then do you want to talk about holding workshops and masterclasses around the country? Do you want to pick up on that?
Okay, yes. Dave used to go all over the country delivering workshops and masterclasses, and he used to do 4 a year, but in multiple places, so that added up. So it wasn't just 4; it was 4 in the south, 4 in the north, maybe 4 in Scotland. I can't remember. Anyway. So that did add up in time and commitment and costs. And eventually I suggested that maybe he just held them and people came to him, and that he didn't need to do 4 a year. 3 a year would be enough for most people, and the rest, as they say, is history. So I pat myself on the back here, and it's another time and effort and money saving, but meant that there was better quality rather than quantity. And sometimes we get caught up with quantity and not the quality of what it is we're delivering. So I think that's the thing.
Yeah.
But can I just share something that's got nothing to do with that? But I am going to push you onto the bus here. Please, if you think that you're going to do something loving and caring for your other half, such as buy them flowers every week. David, I don't know if you can see over, well, if you're listening to this, you can't see, but over his shoulder are some beautiful lilies, and he buys me lilies nearly every week. And he's been doing so ever since he's been doing the weekly shopping for the COVID shutdown, because I was ill and he had to sort of go and do that. And he's been bringing me back these beautiful flowers, which I've really, really loved. And it was such a lovely, thoughtful idea, until I realised that I have the housekeeping fund. So if he shops, I pay him back what he spent out of the housekeeping fund. And I realised I'm buying my own flowers. So just make sure, if you have something that's a lovely idea with good intent, that you follow it through fully. I think that's the message for that. But it took us weeks to work it out, and we've been giggling all week about the fact that I'm buying my own flowers and he's getting all the credit. So make sure it's credit where credit's due. But having said that, this isn't a David bashing session. This is just you can work things out, and it does help if you talk to each other and communicate well and listen and recognize that sometimes someone's bright idea is actually going to work, even if it didn't come from you. I think, is that a fair thing to say?
I think that's very fair. That's a great time now now that I'm sweating and I'm shaking, and please can we stop this? It's a great time to conclude Monday Moments. Thank you.
Well, I hope this doesn't sound like Monday moaning. It's supposed to be uplifting, so I hope that people enjoy it, and I've enjoyed the experience, and getting those things off my chest, if nothing else.
Thank you for joining me on Monday Moments. It's been great.
You are most welcome.
So normally we say, we must do this again, but let's not do this one again.
I tell you, this is probably a one-time only visit, unless I'm back by popular demand. That's all I can say.
Thank you. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.
See you later. Bye.